The first step is always the hardest, every time. Whether it's going for a run, prepping for dinner, investing, or just doing something new, there is always fears, doubts, and excuses that arise before you even start. And what's worse is that even if you want to take that second step, you feel stuck in step one. But it doesn't have to be that way. You have the power to take control until that first step feels like a walk in a park. So here are 10 reasons why you may feel stuck in step one and how to overcome them to move towards your goals. Number 1, fear of failure. We all know that feeling. You think about getting a great idea but never put it into action. Or you want to make a change in your life, but you stop yourself from doing it because it feels too hard. You make the excuses that you enjoy your life the way it currently is. But do you really? We often feel scared or anxious about new things because we fear that if we attempt them, we will fail. If you are from my generation, it has been burnt into our brains that you need to be successful, that you can't fail on a test, that working towards something that won't work is pointless. But I would argue that only being successful at things on the first try doesn't teach the same level of resilience or give the same feeling of success compared to something you failed at time and time again. The point of failing is not to feel bad. It is to learn and grow and find new ways to adapt. If you look at every failure in your life as an opportunity to become better, you'll realize that starting is hard, but it gets easier, and you fail less each consecutive time. Number 2, being overwhelmed. Picture this, it's cleaning day in your house, and it's a disaster. There are dishes on the counter, the floors need to be swept and mopped, the laundry needs to be done, the bathroom mirrors have toothpaste all over them, and it feels like things are just piled up everywhere, and you just don't know where to start. That feeling of being overwhelmed can put us in such a state of inability to proceed. You look at it as a whole, and as a result, the task is so daunting you would rather do nothing at all. That is what the majority of new things feel like, because you don't have a baseline or a step-by-step guide to help break down what you want to achieve. So you look at the whole and think it's impossible. Instead, all you need to do is take it apart. I'll throw the clothing in the laundry because that's the easiest thing to do and takes the most amount of time to complete. And while that is happening, I'll do the dishes first so I can clean the counters, then tidy the floors so nothing is on them, sweep the floors, take out the garbage, then mop, and, well, you get the picture. By breaking down your full goal, or the thing that you want to start, into smaller pieces, it becomes more attainable and provides you with a step-by-step guide to further your progress. You don't need to climb the whole mountain in one fell leap. Just take it step by step. Number 3, uncertainty. Probably the biggest thing holding you back is the feeling of uncertainty. Uncertainty looks like a failure trap. You don't know what you want or what the outcome will be or how to do it, so you just don't even try because you think that doing it wrong will lead you down a bad path. You would rather not start something than learn something new and fail in the process. But this also means you were living in a silo of your own unknowledge. Now, the Dunning-Kruger effect is just this. You don't know what you don't know, and as a result, you can surprise yourself by how much you do or don't know just by trying. Better yet, if you are uncertain about something, you have a plethora of information literally at your fingertips. How-to guides, courses, heck, you can even ask AI to help you out. Or you can find a mentor or someone with experience who can walk you through the process. Don't know how to do an oil change? Find a friend who is mechanically savvy. Looking to get into shape? Hire a personal trainer or watch a video on beginner exercises and continue to upgrade your skills by learning more. Once you have figured something out, each time you do it again, that uncertainty melts away until you are the one who is proficient and can help others to complete it. Number 4, self-doubt. How many times does the voice inside your head say, wow, that was a great job? Probably not as often as you would like it to. Our own egos and ids make our lives a living nightmare sometimes. That inner voice of self-doubt is hard to quelch, and to be honest, even at the height of knowledge on a subject in your career, you will always have a feeling of self-doubt or imposter syndrome. But you know what? So does everybody else. That feeling of self-doubt is a protection mechanism from your brain warning you of social acceptance or responsibility. But it still works on a brain that was developed for fight or flight. Meaning more often than not, it will try to prevent you from doing new things to preserve your own body and mind. Are you ready to take on something new? Your mind will say probably not, but again, that is only because you don't have the experience of it yet. But just like habits, some of them we need to reinforce, and some we need to break. Only you can give yourself the courage to do something new. So when self-doubt begins to take hold, recognize where you are on your journey and that you don't have to be perfect. Nobody is looking for you to fail. In fact, everyone is hoping for you to succeed at whatever you do. Number 5, comfort zone. Your comfort zone is like your couch after a long day of work. Easy, reliable, and will let you binge watch the entire series of Ted Lasso because boy, does it make you feel comfy. It's easy to sit on a couch all day, just like it's easier to stay where you are in life. That's why it's comfortable. And sometimes that's okay, but understand that life has choices. And as Jerzy Grigoric, 4-time weightlifting champion, once said, hard choices, easy life. Easy choices, hard life. It's easier to have cereal in the morning than to make a healthy breakfast, easier to drive to work rather than ride a bike, and it's easier to spend your money than save it. But in all of these cases, your choice will determine whether you are healthy or sick, fit or out of shape, wealthy or poor. By being a little uncomfortable, like only buying Starbucks once a week, then 5 times, and getting used to that feeling, you can begin to make what was uncomfortable more comfortable until you cut out Starbucks completely, learn to make a good cappuccino at home, save that extra money you used to spend and put it into an investment so that in the future, you can enjoy the reward of that initial hard work. When the hard becomes comfortable, you will feel more fulfilled and strive for that next obstacle to grow. By the way, if you like content like this, consider subscribing as we post videos about success, money, and positivity regularly. Subscribing is just one click away and will give you a reminder for all future videos that will make you a better person overall. Okay, now back to the video. Number 6, perfectionism. Now, I am highly guilty of being a perfectionist. It used to be a cripple of my growth as I would reach a point where I would have to start over rather than fix. When it came to doing my master's degree, I would write full papers, toss them, and then rewrite them better than the first attempt because I was never good enough the first try. And sure, I could have edited, but I knew that the method of how the paper was, I could always create something better. So I prevented myself from editing, and as a result, spent more time fixating on something to be perfect when I could have spent half that time fixing it a bit and making it good enough, which is really all that anybody is asking for. Perfectionism is also a vicious trap that prevents that first step because it gives you permission to not take it because it isn't the right step or the right time. This also leads to procrastination, as rather than spend all your time on a project to complete it early, you wait for the perfect moment to start or need that final deadline to force yourself to hand it in. Otherwise, you would work on the project indefinitely. And trust me, your perfect is someone else's okay, and another's, this is the best thing I've ever done. So completion is a scale, and you never have to be perfect. You just have to complete it. It is great to hand in work that has no errors, and you should strive for that. But don't stress about it being perfect because nothing in this world is fully perfect. Number 7, lack of momentum. Now, the amount of time I have started and stopped a project because of lack of direction or motivation is insane. And honestly, if you can take one thing away from this video, it should be you are the only thing that can give you momentum. You make the choice to do something or don't. to progress it, or to let it go. But it always needs at least a little push, whether that is simplifying the task, taking it and breaking it down into little pieces, or maybe even just that push of, I'll do 5 minutes. Because when you do start to do something, when that momentum begins, only then do you start to feel like you were in a flow and can work for hours or more. In fact, that's what I did for this video today. I said, do I really want to write a script? Film myself? And self-doubt, lack of motivation started to creep in. But then I said, you know what? I'll just write for 5 minutes, and if nothing comes of it, then I only lost 5 minutes. Well, 5 minutes turned into 10, turned into an hour and a half of writing, an hour of filming, and a couple hours of editing. All because I said, let me do at least 5 minutes. Just like a slide, it will never go anywhere if you sit on the top. You need a little push to get the momentum going. Number 8, comparison. Now, my family loves to watch Dancing with the Stars. And as a former dancer, I can see the work and effort that is put into these routines. But even as a former dancer, sure, I could learn those moves, but there is no way I should feel bad if it took me a while to learn them. And why should I? I don't spend 10 hours a day practicing moves over and over again just to get it right. I have a completely different life and experience that many of those stars do. But many people will compare themselves, their talent, their looks, their lifestyles, to others and think that there's something wrong with them. And sometimes looking at someone else's success prevents us from even trying to do something new. Now, other times, watching someone else can motivate you to be better, to do more. You know, a quote that has really made me more at peace with who I am is that comparison is the thief of joy. If you are always comparing yourself to others, you will never feel fulfilled in your own life. And it will make you harbor negative feelings, crushing your desire to expand or grow. You don't see the hours of work someone else put in to make them look that much better. So instead of seeing others as rivals, you have to compare to. See them as inspirations to how you could be. I will never look like Jeff Nippard. He has been training his muscles since he was a teenager, but it doesn't mean I can't look to him for inspiration. Treat comparison as a mirror. Look at yourself and whether you were better yesterday or today, and make your adjustments accordingly about you. Some days you will win against yourself, and some days you may lose. But at least you know the only person you are comparing yourself against is yourself, because you are the only person who knows what you have gone through. Number 9, unclear goals. Clear goals are like rules. They define the parameters for your success. We make goals all the time, New Year's resolutions, deadlines, trackers, to gamify our lives. But in a lot of these instances, we tend to create undefined goals like, I want to get in shape, or I'll save more money this month. These goals do not outline what the success will be, when it will be achieved, and by what metric. So instead, we need to find SMART goals. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound goals that will get us all the way through. For example, I want to save up for a trip. So I make my goal, I will save $10,000 for a cruise, for a vacation for my family. I will then measure the goal by setting out guideposts of how I will achieve that goal. I'll put $50 away in a separate account that I keep over the next 200 days. Make sure that it is achievable by adjusting the measurements or specific goals to something that you can actually do without any extreme hard steps. Like if you can't save $50, maybe save $20 and make it 400 days. Then make it relevant. Make sure your goal is something you are building towards. In this case, the goal isn't the trip, but creating an experience for the family. And as you can see, I've already made my time-bound goal of 200 days, but you can also create a time limit that is multiple steps along the way. I'd like to add one more thing, and that's a fail-safe. For instance, if you don't make a deadline or are running behind, make sure you have a way to solve that problem. In my case, maybe I didn't get paid on time, so I couldn't deposit the money for a couple days. So what I do instead is I add an extra dollar or two to the amount so that in the future, it'll even out to that I spent $50 a day. So make sure that you make your goals more tangible in your life so that you can achieve them because you've created it to have fail-safes in place. Number 10, lack of belief. Just like self-doubt, lack of belief can really prevent you from making that first move. You're not sure the work is worth the end result. Others have told you it's not worth it, and it seems like it can be hopeless. People need a wish, a dream, a passion to follow, and when you stop believing in those, you feel hopeless. This comes back to you. What do you want? What do you see as a possibility? You are the belief system you need, because even if all others don't see your vision or lack faith in you, the only person that does need it is you. Now, I believe that if we want to grow, if we want to change, if we want to stay the same, we can in all instances. Believe in yourself to find the answers through all the pitfalls and tribulations, and the reward at the end will be so sweet. Now, the first step will always feel the hardest, but once you take it, the weight lifts. Momentum kicks in, and suddenly the mountain doesn't look so impossible anymore. Take that first step today, because your future self is waiting for you on the other side of it. Now, if you like this video, I'm sure you will like the one here that the algorithm thought would be perfect for you. And don't forget the biggest thing. Take what you learn here and apply it to your life today, right now. Sure, absorb more content on the subject, but please, please, please apply it to your daily practices so that we can all grow together.